Alright guys, today is a special day. I think you and I both know what's going to happen, and depending on what happens at the end of the line, you probably will have a good guess of what happened, courtesy of thumbnails and titles of stuff, other stuff like that. I don't 100% know myself, but something that I've been sitting on for a while, and something that I want to try to do as my idea moving forward. I might live to regret this. I'll be totally honest. I might live to regret this, but I have one passage left. I don't remember which one it is, but I have exactly one passage left. I want to use that passage to try and go down to the depths. As you can see, we are exactly one karma away from actually being at max karma. So my theory is, provided we do not die a lot in Subterranean, where you die a lot, we will find a scavenger and we'll see if we can get past the Guardians, and we will see what happens. This can either be a very long episode or a very short episode. I honestly do not know. I also might end up tacking this on to the end of some other episode. So, for full transparency, it's been about a day and a half since I collected all the pearls from Artificer, and I wanted to take some time to recuperate, breathe, and come back into this with a calm mind and a bit of a easy demeanor. Going down there is always a bit of a weird feeling for me, if I'm totally honest with you guys. It's hard for me to describe it, and it's even harder for me to explain it, but that's kind of the plan for today. And I figured, while we take a moment to enjoy the gentle rainfall and the beautiful music, we can kind of talk about this. But as the music wraps up, I think that's my cue. Oh. Okay. Well, you're going to have to give me one moment. Alright, apologies. It seemed like I needed to do a slight detour to catch up some pearls. There might have been some sort of like error or bug that had happened, but the important part is that every pearl is done and all that is taken care of. So, moving forward, I need to actually hibernate, and unfortunately, I accidentally starved myself, which is not what I was intending to do. So I actually need to go get something to eat, and then I can probably hibernate properly. So this hibernation spot is not available right now, and it probably will not be available moving forward. The good news though is that the one I'm trying to go for should be relatively easy. It's just a little bit down the wall. I say that like I haven't been struggling on this one single strip of land for a huge chunk of my journey here, period. I'm very nervous. There's a lot of thoughts swirling in my head, a lot of things that I kind of want to talk about, a lot of stuff that I'm trying to reserve my thoughts for once we wrap things up. I have no idea if what I'm planning to do will actually work, and if it doesn't work, then we are going to have a very, not super complicated, but definitely a time getting out of Subterranean. Which, you know what, I'm willing to take. It's just something that I've seen a couple of you guys talking about in the comment section, and it has been something that I've been thinking about for a while myself. I've been debating and like trying to think up like, hey, if this was to happen, what would happen? And the true nature of Rain World is finding out the hard way. Not just asking questions, but legitimately going through and being like, well, let's try. There's not a lot of penalties, especially now. There's not really a lot of penalties that remain when it comes to... Oh, well, whoops. There's not a lot of penalties that come into play when it comes to Rain World, especially now as it stands, courtesy of me having, I guess, finished everything. I will admit, full transparency's sake, boy, do I feel like a massive weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I definitely won't lie. That part feels freaking incredible. That feels really, really nice. As I stated before, I'm probably going to hold my tongue before I get into the whole nitty-gritty, the pros and cons, and all the feelings in between when it comes to Rain World and how I feel about it. But I feel like I just kind of want to go on record saying that, like, honestly, yeah, delivering all those pearls back to back to back, all those passages, that was cathartic. I felt a sense of peace I didn't know I haven't felt in a decent amount of time. Darn it. A little bit of a fight was needed, but the important part is that we're hibernating. And I guess we're doing it. Gosh. So the mission in theory, the fuller mission in theory is I need to get to filtration system. So I'm probably going to go back to that hibernation spot that I was at originally. And the plan is simple-ish in theory. The idea is kill a scavenger and provided my... Oh, whoops, I did not actually passage. I just hit the button. Gosh dang it. Well, did not mean to do that. That was an accident. All right, I've been spotted. I've been spotted. I can work with being spotted. It's fine. Give me a moment. We're going to passage on the next one. Promise. We're going to passage on the next one. That's going to happen. And then, uh-oh. We need to find a scavenger and we need to work with it. Hi. You can't stop me. Oh gosh, he's rapidly approaching. All right, now let's try the whole actually hibernating properly thing. Jeez, okay. Actually, you know what? This is fine because it means that my karma's higher now. It was automatically going to get higher anyways on account of me passaging, but whatever. All right. This is our last passage. Ooh. And almost fittingly so, the last passage that we're going to use is the Hunter. While we did not exclusively hunt bat flies, we mostly just kind of nibbled on them when we needed like a wee bit of a peckish meal. I feel like so many of these fit Artificer incredibly well. All right. I feel nervous. I don't know why I feel so nervous. The objective is simple in theory, and I'm fairly confident, if memory serves me right, the path down is literally right there. Like, is this little spot right here? If I'm remembering my routes correctly. I've been like going over my my old videos to kind of like try and remember who I was and what I did. So, oh gosh. Okay. Easy in theory, in practice a lot more difficult. That's the whole issue with this whole situation. This could either go very well. Like I said, this could either be a incredibly short video, or this video could go on for as long as some of my other videos have gone on for. In general, we're just going to have to be very careful. We find a scavenger, we obliterate it on sight, and then we immediately make a run for it. And we need to not let go, no matter what. And then also, ideally, don't die as much. I'm going to try my best to kind of stay in this area. In due time, scavengers will show up. By God, do we understand that plenty well by this point. Whether I want them to or not, the scavengers will find me and they will kill me. So I kind of want to weaponize that. I want to weaponize the fact that I can't get rid of them, but they also can't get rid of me either. Speaking of, it looks like my My prize is here. I know I've kind of mentioned it before, but something about subterranean, just or as a region as a whole, really makes me nervous, honestly. I don't know if it's like something about the music, the scenario. I mean, it definitely doesn't help that this is like a very narrow, very dark, very creepy area to be in. It's very fitting for a final area. It's a lot of really difficult challenges, one after another, back to back, with very little mercy in between. It really does feel like a final area in a game without trying to be, I guess, performative about it. It's not trying to like be a final area on account of like, oh my gosh, I just realized that's a very dead lizard there. Holy cow, that scared me. I was like trying to figure out, I was like, why can't I move? What a mystery. Oh gosh. Okay. Another good news is that I technically don't really need to eat. I just kind of want to exist in this area, avoiding the lizards as I can, and just waiting to see if and or when any lizards, not lizards, what are they called? Those guys show up. I don't want to leave this area because I don't want to get lost, but to jump back to the previous subject that I was getting at, that sounds promising. To get back to the previous subject that I was getting at, I find myself, something about subterranean just leaves a sense of borderline unease in me. And I'm not quite sure 100% why that is the case for me. In reality, it's no big deal, right? Oh, I can see that giant spider there. At the end of the day, it's not really that deep. It's not really that big of a deal. Ooh. Uh-oh. Don't come up here. Oh gosh. Okay, this is not the situation that I wanted to be jammed in. I really hope none of them come up here. No. I see some scavengers. I just need a window of opportunity. That's all I need. Also, I think that's my ride right there. Ooh. Hold on. Crap. No! Okay. Hold on. No! Gosh, okay. This is way more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Go figure. All I wanted was to, like, you're stealing all the freaking Okay. As usual, the things that seem easy at first aren't actually that easy when it comes to the grand scheme of things. I would really like to pick it off, essentially. I want to be able to kind of essentially steal a kill. Perfect. Oh gosh. No. I need this. Yes. Okay. Uh-huh. Now I just need to get into that pipe right there. How do I do that? How do I do this? Okay. Stay calm. Keep focused. Ooh. We can definitely make it. There we go. All right. Pretty sure this is the path. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Whoops. Also, I just want to go on record and just be a little angry for a minute. I did not remember that hibernation spot being there, and now I am so upset about it because if I knew it was right there, that would have saved me a lot of trouble. Like a lot of trouble. Oh crap, okay. Head back up for now. Hopefully all of you guys like weasel your way into that spot specifically. Uh-oh. Oh gosh. I don't want to be stuck in this situation, please. I just don't want to die. That's all I'm worried about. Okay. Now's my chance. We're going to quickly slip through. Run. Down here. Yes. Oh, crap. We need to keep this body. We need to keep the body. Okay. To here. Down to here. One of these ways. Where are we going? Which way do you go? We took the wrong way. Crap. We needed to get away from the danger, though. So it's fine. But we need to take a different route. Gosh dang it. Here I was like, oh, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. I do not. Ha. Down. I think. This way. Oh, this way? This seems about right, yeah? Yes, okay. And I know for a fact that's the one. Because we're gonna go in there and we're gonna see a drill. Yep. Gosh, this place is just creepy. Let's see if this works. If I end up dying, then what I'm probably just gonna do is... Oh, gosh. I guess probably make my way through drainage or pipe yard, and then I'll probably just work on getting my way back to Metropolis, because that's where I was supposed to be. Oh, gosh. My heart feels so uneasy. I cannot stress this enough. Something about the depths, I do know and I don't know, but there's just something about the depths that makes me very uneasy. There's something about this place that really just like, it makes my heart feel bad. But it's not in any like specifically bad way. It's not like in any like, oh, this game is bad or anything of the sort. It's just like this weird, it's this weird feeling. And I guess the game does a really good job of nailing that feeling for me. Because even now, after what, my third time being down here, it still hits. Uh-oh. The flash didn't go off. Usually there's a little flash when you pass through. Why is my threat going up? Oh, I'm so scared. I don't think I'm supposed to be doing this. Well, we're about to find out real quick what happened, so I guess it's fine, maybe. I'm so nervous. Why is my threat like fluctuating? It keeps like going up and then going back down. It's not dropping entirely, but it's weird. Ugh. I feel so worried. I feel like I'm not really supposed to be here, am I? I get the feeling I'm not. Shoot, 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 shoot. Did not mean to drop the body. Come with me, come with me. Under no circumstances should we let go. I still end up thinking a lot about the ancients, the markings, the karma, all of it. Despite all the grief and the hardships that I've been having with the game and my feelings about Artificer, positive or negative, this moment, this feeling doesn't change. It's still very much kind of like a stun lock for me of sorts. I don't know how else to really describe it other than like that. It always just kind of feels like I feel weirdly tense right now, and I'm not even 100% fully certain why. I'm also very scared that this isn't going to work. Did I say that already? But if it even does work, then what happens? Oh gosh. I think this is it, right? Hey, guys. Are we cool? Are we cool? I think I'm cool. Why am I hyperventilating? I don't know why. This situation always freaks me out. Under no circumstances, let go of the scavenger. Gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Why do I feel so anxious? I don't like this. Oh. Oh. Oh gosh. Did it always used to look like this? I can't remember this drop. Oh gosh. It's always so creepy down here. I think... No. I think this is right? My map isn't filled out, which makes me inclined to believe that something has changed, and I don't know what it is. My karma level keeps popping up, and it's like stressing me out. I'm like, oh gosh, what did I do? Who did I make upset? Who's mad at me now? Oh no. It seemed like the Guardians didn't care though, so I guess as long as even if it's not actually me, as long as it counts as me, it's fine, right? Oh gosh. I promise this time I'm not gonna cry, okay? I promise. Not this time. You know what? I'm not gonna make any promises. I'm probably gonna cry again. There's something about the depths. I want to talk about it, but it's kind of a weird thing for me. Oh gosh. At some point in the future, I do want to sit down and kind of talk about it a bit more in depth. Why Rain World as a whole, but especially this moment, stuck out to me. And it's moments like these in games, big and small, that always kind of makes a game go from just a game to me to a moment, an experience. Sometimes it's not even exclusively something that the game itself did, but rather what happened, what transpired while playing the game, what happened afterwards, that sort of thing. And this moment is very powerful to me. I feel like because Rain World doesn't do a lot of talking, obviously. There's not a lot of talking in this game. So everyone can have their own unique interpretation of what this game is and what it could be. To whom is correct and not correct, I guess depends on the individual, but For me, this is such a powerful but scary but beautiful but depressing moment. The whole sequence between the music and the scenery, it's incredible, but also really heartbreaking. This is dead end. I think this is a dead end. I'm curious to know. I know I haven't really asked you guys a lot of questions like this. It's been a little while since I've done like my daily questions per Rain World episode. But for those of you who do have an answer, I feel like I asked this question before, but if it's not a spoiler for the game in question, what moment in a game made the game go from just a game to you to a moment in your life that you will never forget? Because for me, doing this for the first time, and even the subsequent times, it really stood out to me. I cannot figure out for the life of me why my karma level won't, like not my karma level, why my threat level won't decrease. It keeps like picking up and dropping, but I think now's the time, right? I think so. Yeah, I think it's time. Well, I don't really need to eat where I'm going, but I guess I don't really need that anymore, right? Do I? I honestly don't know. I'm trying really hard to not panic about it. Sorry. I guess. Oh. I think I'm in trouble. Am I in the corner, the bottom left corner? My karma symbol is flashing red. I don't think I'm supposed to be down here. I also can't concussive blast in this water, at least not from what I can tell. I'm not gonna risk it. I don't want to like accidentally blow myself up during a moment like this. you are. Hey. What? Hey! He didn't help me. What gives? Am I really that unlikable? Oh, I guess we're doing it on foot then. My karma thing is blinking more frequently. Oh, I can't move. What's happening? I think I'm stuck. Shoot. Oh no! Oh my gosh. I'm gonna cry. No, I said I wasn't going to cry, and I promise I won't. I promise I won't. As usual, there is always so much to unpack when it comes to the finale of Rain World. There's always so many conflicting feelings going through my head. There's always so much that I kind of want to talk about, and I'm not sure where to start. I'll try and handle it in order, and I'll try to handle it in the appropriate enough fashion, I suppose. So, I'm not quite sure what happened to Artificer, because I'm not even quite sure what happened to Survivor or Monk. But it definitely looked different, and I wonder and suspect it has something to do with her karma. Maybe that's why they were so adamant that only high karma people can go down there. But then again, I guess only people with the highest karma could get down here anyways, because of the Guardians. So I'm not sure what happened. It's like she was being unraveled. Have you ever pulled at a single thread in a shirt or a sock, and as you kept pulling it, it was the whole cloth was just being undone? It kind of made me think of that. That's what it kind of felt like looking at that. But man, I'm trying not to cry. I'm really not trying to cry. But that was so sweet. That's not what I was expecting when I came down here. I feel like Artie needed that, to have one final goodbye with her kids. I'm not sure what happened to her exactly. Oh, snap. I'm actually getting credits for the Watcher as well. I wasn't actually expecting that, sorry. Oh. I feel like it's quite fitting. And it's safe to assume that because we're getting credits rolling, this will probably be the end asterisk for now. I'll probably come back later and do the thing I was actually supposed to do. 5 told me to go into Metropolis and do a little bit of cleanup duty. And I do intend on doing that. But maybe on a different save slot? Maybe on a different file? I kind of want to leave this one the way it is. Oh gosh. Sorry. I keep trying to come into these more prepared and I'm not. This feels like a fitting ending. At least to me it does. It feels like I guess my personal headcanon kinda came true. I had gotten that achievement. Closure, the consequences of your journey have caught up with you. Which makes me think of something else. Like, it makes me think more of like, this wasn't the best thing possible for Artie. But at the same time, I feel like I would argue the opposite, where it's like, when this is probably the best way for it to end. Getting one last time to say goodbye. It makes me think about something, which is a little off topic, but just bear with me. I had a childhood friend that we grew up together. We grew up in diapers. Our mothers were friends, and during the whole COVID-19 thing, he had passed away. And it has been really hard wrapping my head around it. Like, I feel like I'm super sad. But it's also really hard for me to even think about. It's hard to think that he's gone. And it's hard to think about the time that we spent together and knowing that there's not going to be any after that. But my perspective is not the one of concern here. I'm worried about his mother. She hasn't been the same since he passed away. It's been on her mind constantly that her little boy that she raised from birth is gone. No one really knows what to do for her. I don't know how to help her. My mom doesn't. Nobody really does. And playing Artificer makes me think about her a lot. She's like a godmother to me. And I think about, like, she lost a kid too. Provided in a different way, but a child death is still a child death. And it still sits with you permanently. I can grieve and be sad about this, but I can only imagine what it must feel like to be in her shoes. In that obsession over their life and their subsequent death. I've seen how it affects people. So playing Artificer, I kind of see the glimmers of each other. I see Artie and my godmother, and I see my godmother and Artie. I really do miss him, and I wish I could help her somehow. But I say all that to say that sometimes I wonder if all of us, but especially her, if she was able to get one last goodbye in, would it help some? I feel like ultimately the answer is to be debated, of course, but it's something that crosses my mind from time to time. So seeing something like this, I can't help but feel a little bit like maybe it would help. Maybe it helped Artificer to see her children one last time. I have no clue. I don't know what happens in the void. But I'll leave that sob story for later, and I'll leave that there for now. I don't mean to make this all about me. This is about Rain World. So, gosh, Rain World is... I almost wanted to say Rain World is a game. I'm always so tempted to say that every time I finish any game on this channel. Oh, that was a game. No. I mean, yes, it was a game, but as I was mentioning before in the depths, it's also an experience. It's also something to really think about. There's a lot of thoughts that I have, and the more I play Rain World, the more I feel like I can feel my thoughts solidifying. Does that sound weird? I can feel my thoughts kind of processing through and being like, when I first played Survivor, I had some feelings, high and low, about Rain World, and I still do have the high and low feelings, and I do plan to and intend to share them as we continue chatting. I don't know how long the credits are, so I will try to sync it up, but no guarantee. When I first started playing, I felt a little, not confused, but I definitely had some thoughts. And whether or not they were accurate or not is neither here nor there, because I feel like now, about 3.5 Select Cats in, give or take, I feel like I have a bit of a firmer idea of how I feel about Artificer and my thought process on how I feel about Rain World as a whole. So the best way that I can explain it, and I'll elaborate more in the future or in a little bit, is Rain World is specifically a really, really great game as long as you have zero obligations. It sounds really harsh, but all I mean by that is that I feel like the way that I personally feel like Rain World wants you to play the game is easily done when you don't have to have any external or internal obligations. The moment the game goes from exploration and discovering the world around you and pondering and checking out all the cool sights and all the cool creatures and meeting the iterators and stuff like that, the moment that stops being the thing and the moment you have an objective, everything starts to feel like one giant obstacle. And albeit, to be fair, my experience is unique. I've been trying to do this as a YouTube thing, as like a Let's Play series, to varying levels of success. When you feel like you're on a time crunch, whether because you need to get a video out, or you only have so many hours in a day to record, or you have a job to go to, you have school to take care of, suddenly, well, hold on to that thought. How did I do? I haven't actually guessed it myself. I guess we're about to see it, but I'm assuming my deaths are somewhere in, I want to say 300. I'm going to guess 300. Holy cow. I ate a lot more than I thought I did. I ate a lot more than I thought I did. Okay, deaths. Let's see. We had 157 successful cycles. I'm guessing somewhere in the 300s when it comes to deaths. Oh, close. Dang, my score got messed up. I quit 9 times. The correction, I crashed 9 times. Get it right. We spent 14 hours doing this. 22 pearls and acceptance. Ripped my score. Oh no. No, all those points. We're not gonna get a great score, but you know what? At least we did it. Oh, wait. Let's see. Surprise. That's amazing. I killed exactly 1 pink lizard. This is definitely gonna be probably, at least to date, the most decorated kill list that I have thus far. Yeah, how many scavengers did I kill? 240, one king vulture, 5 of the big centipedes, 7 of the small ones, 9 of the big ones, 3 centiweeds, 2 lantern wig, 9 of the spiders, 9 more of the spiders, 1 rot, 2 daddies, 12 egg bugs, 14 drop wigs, green spider, 2 elite scavengers. Oh, I really wish I managed to get that Mira's vulture, but I didn't want to tempt fate. I'm upset that I didn't get that one passage right there. How am I 2 pips away from that? That really bothers me. Times 7. You know what? Oh, that's actually really cool. It's like timesing it per the. Oh, okay. That's pretty great. So what are we looking at? I mean, I know there's not really like a rank system. I put this on the leaderboard and everyone's like, wow, that's awful. But I think that's it. 29,336 is my score. For those of you who still remember your first score in the Artificer campaign, especially if you managed to pull this off, do let me know. What do you think? How and what do you think? How well did you do? How do you feel? What I was trying to get at earlier was the game is filled with a lot of obligations. Well, what I was trying to get at earlier is that the game, I don't want to say it ceases to be fun, but the game quickly shifts from a inconsequential game to a very stressful experience exactly when you start having some semblance of obligations to the game. And here's what we'll do. We'll step out for now and wow, that's so sad. Okay. Oh. It's very subtle, but do you see it? Do you see it? One little blue dot here, one green dot over here. Even on this screen, we still see them. Oh, I'm trying so hard not to cry here, honest. Here, give me one moment, and we'll chat a bit more somewhere a little less quiet. Okay, this is a great way to kind of compensate for sadness. I figured we could use the sandbox mode to kind of take some time to, I guess, go over all the information. Or not information, but some of my thoughts, but not just be sitting on like a main menu screen doing absolutely nothing. So I thought, hey, let's make this a little bit more interesting. Why not? Let's these guys are incredibly cute. Oh, look at that one up there. He's just staring mysteriously. So, like I was mentioning earlier, the game is incredibly fun. And I always find myself legitimately, I always have, and I still do to this day, looking forward to playing Rain World. Rain World has quickly climbed the ranks and it has quickly become one of, if not my personal top 10 to maybe even 5 games of all time. However, I feel like due to the unique circumstances of which I have to play the game, it has definitely led to some strong feelings involved with the game in general. As I was getting at earlier, when it comes to not just Artificer, I felt it during Survivor, I felt it a little bit during Gourmand, I felt it during Hunter, but I feel like having played Artificer and having a lot of time to think, it got me seriously thinking, like, you know, I think the problem is that I feel obligated to play it. Does that make sense? Like, the choice to play it is my own, and I am fully aware that if I wanted to, I probably could have just said, hey, no more Rain World, I'm too stressed, I'm too tired, I'm too this, I'm too that. So I understand that, like, it's not, don't, let me backpedal a little bit. So please, don't feel like you, the viewers, have forced my hand and gave me no choice but to play the game. That's not true at all. I'm an adult. I can take care of myself. And if I didn't want to play anymore, I could have just stopped playing at any point in time. It was more so me to myself. I felt like I wanted to see everything and I wanted to do everything. But quite frankly, I felt like I didn't have the skill set nor the knowledge needed to do something like that. I didn't have the tool set needed or the information needed to pull off some of the things that I have done. That is not to say that I'm not proud of myself, however. I feel like I managed to really do some things that I did not think originally that I was capable of doing. There was a legitimate time during the Artificer campaign where I thought, am I able to do this? Like, am I seriously able to pull this off? Because now I'm starting to get worried. I don't know if I actually can do this. There was a point in time, and during the Artificer campaign, I want to say about halfway into collecting the pearls, I found myself kind of at this weird impasse. I was having this constant feeling of like, why am I doing this? If I may be blunt, and again, please don't take it as harsh as it may come off, but I found myself frequently thinking, why am I doing this? And a lot of it mostly just came to like this feeling of like, why am I spending all this time, sometimes 4, sometimes 6 hours per recording session to get maybe, if I'm lucky, 1, maybe if I'm very lucky, 2 episodes out of it, when it's not like, look, let's be honest, there's other people playing Rain World right now who are playing at the same rate as me. And again, I'm just gonna go on record saying, nothing against them. This is nothing against them personally. I'm not mad. I'm not trying to vague post. I'm not trying to be mean. It's more so that I just want to share my honest thoughts and feelings with you guys as honestly as I can put it, as transparent as I can make it, because I feel like just as much as I feel like you guys deserve to know this, I deserve to say it. So, should anyone be trying to get into Rain World themselves? Should anyone be playing alongside me? Should anyone be interested in, hey, why don't insert large YouTuber here play Rain World to completion? You know the one. I'm not gonna say the names. I don't want to get assassinated. But between the bigger creators, between the creators who are playing at the same rate as I have, I couldn't help but find myself wondering like, man, everyone else is blazing on and doing it their way and having a great time, getting like having their cake and eating it too. And again, like I said, this is a situation that's inherently unique to me and people like me. So to someone who plans to just play Rain World casually, a lot of this may not apply to you, and that's a great thing. That is legitimately a great thing. But I want to kind of share my thoughts because, like I mentioned before, I feel like it was pretty obvious. I wasn't exactly the happiest camper out there in the world when it came to like the grind of getting all the pearls as Artificer, getting all the echoes. It definitely got easier as I got more echoes, as I got more karma, but it did not mean that the journey itself was any easier. And like I said before, when it started like racking up in the hours, when the deaths really started adding up, when my patience, quite frankly, started getting thinner and thinner, I found myself wondering, why am I doing all of this? Why am I putting myself through all this effort, through all this work, through all this grief and pain? When I could have either just been playing Rain World on my own terms, outside of the channel, enjoying it at a pace that I enjoy. And gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to like think of a way to say this that doesn't make me sound too B-word-y. But I feel like it's one of those things that's like, I can't find a good way to say it. I feel like every time I try to think of the words for it, it just comes off wrong. It comes off really harsh. It comes out really mean. And again, I want to be very clear with you guys. I don't hate Rain World. I'm not mad at any other creators. I'm not mad at the community. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad at myself either. I'm just kind of in this feeling of like, I definitely felt like I was way over my head. I feel like, unironically, it was a skill issue. I didn't have the knowledge needed, nor the skill set needed to make doing such a challenge as 100%ing Asterix Artificer as efficiently as possible. I feel like definitely pearl hunting, period, is something you really need to do after you have a couple hundred hours under your belt. And as of recording this, let me check Steam. As of recording this, I am coming up on 237 hours. So, I mean, I'm technically getting there. But I would personally recommend that people have that before they get into Rain World, preferably. Or, like, before they get into pearl hunting, specifically. Actually, want to add more pups. I'm sorry. I spent so long trying my best to come up with a good mindset and a good thought process on how exactly am I going to handle this game. How am I, not the game. I spent so long in between recordings, at work, studying, trying to figure out, like, how am I going to explain the feelings that I have right now? And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find the right words. I still love Rain World. I still want to play it to completion. I still have full intentions of 100%ing it. But I definitely feel like post Artificer, my feelings on some things have changed. Namely, doing the Pearl run in the Let's Play. I might start reserving it for later. I might start reserving it for streams. I might reserve it for bonus videos in the future, because this was stressful. This was incredibly stressful. There were so many times where I came to the recordings legitimately happy, legitimately excited, but then I would die again and again and again and again. And it would definitely leave me with this feeling of like, well, am I just bad at the game? The answer is probably yes. I probably am just bad at the game. But I want to do this, and I feel like it's too late now to chicken out, so I gotta do it. But I don't feel good. My head hurts. I feel awful. I feel like there's so many times where, like, I went into recording legitimately excited, but left feeling genuinely just kind of overwhelmed and distressed. And no one should feel like that playing a game. Nobody should feel like that playing any game whatsoever. And I feel like that was a big thing for me as I was moving forward in an Artificer. Like I mentioned before, as I kept playing it, it got a little bit easier. It got a little bit better. But I definitely felt this crunch, this squish feeling. I felt like I was way in over my head, trying to do far too much and not really achieving a lot. I was spending 4 or 6 hours dying to the same thing, only to like edit down the footage, and it would be like 15 minutes max. And that's a kind of a separate thing. On a side note, I definitely feel like the longer videos, while definitely easier for me to handle and edit because it's not so much for me to worry about, I do acknowledge that the longer episodes are a lot more daunting for people both new and old to get into. It is quite literally hours of footage. For what it's worth, it was even more than that. I know the game said I spent probably 14 in-game hours playing. I would argue that it was something more along the lines of 20 plus. I spent a long time trying to pull this off, and I can't stress enough how taxing that was on me, mentally and kind of physically. I don't want to hide away from it. I don't want to be coy about it. I don't want to hide from it. I want to be honest with you guys about this because it really affected me. It honestly and really did. However, I will also say in that same breath, I do feel like Artificer so far has got to be one of my more favorite campaigns. I do legitimately love the challenge of it. I loved the skill curve. It was difficult and kind of BS at times, but I definitely feel like I've gone from being a scared little slug cat crawling around everywhere to, hey, I did a backwards down throw thing. And maybe in the future I can do even more insane tricks as a slug cat. I'm really looking forward to it. I had a lot of fun with Artificer. I just think that at the same time, I struggled a lot to enjoy my time playing Artificer, specifically because I feel like I struggled with not having the skill set needed to pull off some of the things. So I'm very torn. I'm very torn. I guess that's the short version of it all. I feel very conflicted. I had a lot of fun, but I also felt pretty awful the whole time I was doing it. So I guess take this as your heads up. Those of you who have been consistently watching each and every episode, I'll probably make another post just kind of clarifying it, or say it in the subsequent Artificer campaign, or not Artificer campaign, the next like whatever select cat I do, probably Revealette, I think. After this point, I'm probably not going to do pearls in the Let's Plays. It's overwhelming and very stressful. But as I mentioned before, I had a lot of fun with the Artificer campaign, and to sort of discuss a little bit about other things aside from hardships of the game and like the elephants in the room, I kind of want to talk about the other stuff that we have discovered with Artificer. So I feel like now's a better time than any to sort of recap. Let's take this moment to kind of dial it back a little bit and just kind of talk about Artificer, the world around it, and what we know. So, basing ourselves off of what we got so far from the Survivor campaign, the Gorman campaign, the Hunter campaign, and now Artificer campaign. So, the original pearls, as we had initially read them, led me to believe, in short, that we have the ancients who are, for lack of better phrasing, egotistical jerks. I'm not a big fan of them, I'll be totally honest. They're interesting in terms of characters, not interesting in terms of people I would ever want to talk with, ever. They had a problem. Nobody could die. To keep it short and sweet, they had a problem. A big problem, if you will. They couldn't die. No matter how hard they tried, they would always resurrect, which led to a colony, practically, of very desperate, very exhausted people. And as a result, they started creating these giant supercomputers called the Iterators to kind of work on this big problem for them. Eventually, that didn't really work out, and so they just decided to all dip into the void fluid anyways, because that turned out to be one method that kind of worked, except when it doesn't and you come back as like this tentacle ghost monster thing. But that's neither here nor there. Then we have the 5 and Moon situation. So, specifically in an Artificer situation, we find ourselves a little bit after Moon's collapse, where, in theory, she's technically still kind of alive. Like I mentioned before, alive, or at the very least dying a very slow, very painful death, which when I think about it, makes me very sad. Especially because, at least from Moon, she confirms that it is legitimately painful. So when I think about it, it just, I don't know, it really like pulls at my heart for some reason. It's like, oh no, I don't like thinking about how she's suffering. So Artificer, we're not able to talk to Moon, but we can talk to 5. Mostly because I think Sophaniel, our little citizen drone, kept us safe. Otherwise, I think 5 would have slaughtered us at any given moment. I also feel like, to backpedal a little bit, just a little bit. I had some people ask me if they feel like getting out the pearls as 5. I had some people ask me if getting out the pearls as Artificer, does it feel worth it having had 5 reap the pearls? I feel like it's a solid 50-50 for me. I feel like for the pearls that Moon was not able to elaborate on, 5 was able to, and vice versa. And being able to have both sides of the situation kind of discuss their part in it, it's a bit eye-opening. And 5 can provide us information about the ancients in the world around us that Moon may not be capable of doing much, if at all. And it leads to a very odd but interesting situation to be in. I feel like Moon's reading of the pearls are the best if you want to understand the story as a whole. But 5 pearls are really good. Like 5 pearl readings are really good if you want to understand the world. So it's pretty eye-opening from that perspective. I definitely feel like lore-wise and world-wise, I have a better understanding of what the world around me was like and what it is. The first one that comes to my mind immediately is the Shaded Citadel Pearl, which I have like a screenshot on my other monitor here, so I'm just going to read off of it real quick. You found this in the memory crypts. I would advise against wandering into such secure areas. Memory crypts were considered sacred grounds for your creators. Memories The memories and wealth of entire family houses were laid to rest within, and their destruction or theft by surface creatures was considered abhorrent. As such, the crypts are guarded by extremely durable and aggressive purpose organisms. Not that I would stop you from finding me more pearls from there. I find that to be, like that pearl for example, I find to be really interesting, specifically because it kind of confirms what those scissor chickens, the mirror birds, were supposed to be for. They're guard dogs. I kind of suspected it at first, but seeing it now, it makes sense to me. I kind of can understand now, like, the locations and where you do see mirror birds, the areas that you do happen to come across them, in Metropolis, in Shaded Citadel, in Subterranean. I can kind of look at the place around me, no matter how dilapidated it is, and go, oh, they're the equivalent of like guard dogs, German shepherds, if you will. Their job is to protect things violently, very effectively. And it's probably why trying to kill one is not an easy feat. I threw like, what, 3-4 bombs at them at some point? They don't drop easily. And it's stuff like that I feel like Five's pearls provide immeasurable amount of information on, and I really appreciate. I think it's really cool that we can learn a bit more about the world in ways that Moon can only at best allude to. But vice versa, on the opposite spectrum, you also have Five kind of being like, I don't want to read this pearl. I just don't want to. Like, there was one of the pearls that was like, I think it's the one where Moon's begging for her life that he just refuses to read, which is like fair. I was kind of hoping he would read it though, but fair. And I kind of, gosh, I'm conflicted because like pearls like that, I'm like, oh, I would have loved to hear what Five had to say. But also, it's so in character that he doesn't want to talk about it. He does eventually do talk about it, however, in future pearls. I gotta remember which pearls are which. I can't fully remember, honestly. But there are some pearls where he talks about it. And he confesses that, like, hey, he didn't want to hurt Moon. He thought he had more time. He thought he had a chance at it. To be fair, Moon tried to reach out to him and he ignored. So it's kind of like, But I've mentioned it before and I mentioned it again. For the very specific and unique situation that Five is in, I can't help but kind of not blame him, because I feel like if I was stuck, abandoned in a world as a borderline immortal, with no way to ever do the things that my creator did to get out of this world, I would also start experimenting and testing with stuff as well, no matter the cost, because in my eyes, if I can make this work, then everybody benefits. I think in more ways than I care to admit, I share more in common with Five Pebbles than I probably do with Moon. Even though I feel like as a character, I do like Moon more than I like Five. But that is not to say that like their difference is very high-low for me. It's more so that one, like, they're very much neck and neck, and they're such interesting like characters, such interesting stories. Just in general, like Rain World is such a sleeper agent, and that's what makes Rain World so beautiful to me. It's two ways. It's not just the lore itself, but the fact of like how Rain World treats it. They make it very clear since the start, since Survivor, since you first boot up the game. They're like, hey, this isn't some sort of hero's journey. There's no happy ending for you. There's no future. There's no plot twist coming up. You're a creature. Nothing more, nothing less. People refer to you as such. People treat you as such. The world treats you as all these kind of things. And even as you learn more about the world around you, it doesn't change the fact that you still need to get food and you still need to hibernate before it rains. And honestly, I thought that was beautiful. And I feel like Artificer still embodies that fairly well. I feel like despite all the challenges, despite Five being like you're on a mission, you actually have a quest now. You have a quest in a game. This is it. The game moment, right? Doesn't matter. You're still kind of doing your own thing. It just so happens that conveniently it overlaps with the things that you wanted to do. Does it actually mean that you're going to do it? Like I didn't do it. I don't really know what the canon ending is. Like I said earlier, I kind of feel like the ending I got is my personal headcanon, so I kind of want to treat it as such, because it's like, hey, I like to think that Artificer went through all these hardships to kind of learn to move on in a sense. And then maybe it's just like the optimistic part of me that's like, hey, at the very least, she did all this and she managed to finally say goodbye. She got something out of it. May not be the greatest or the most luxurious victory, Nothing can bring back a gone child. But hey, at least you did that. At least you got that. It's interesting getting to see the story from another perspective. It kind of reminds me of something my mom used to always tell me, that there are always three sides to every story. There's your side, their side, and the truth. The truth can only be discerned from hearing both sides of the story. So finally getting to hear about some of the things that Five and Moon and the other iterators had gotten up to from Five's perspective allows me to better understand the story even more than I already saw the story, and better than how I already understood the story. It's great. It's honestly really great. However, as I stated before, there is a part of me that's like, I feel like I struggle to think and wonder, could I genuinely recommend this to somebody? Could I recommend to somebody on specifically their first playthrough, did you get all pearls? I'm so torn because I feel like, compared to other people, I got to have a really unique experience with Rain World because I got to understand it in its entirety. The situation around me, embrace my life for what it was, and do everything that could be done. But at the same time, it's stressful, it's hard, and I don't know if I can really recommend anybody actually do that. So I'm a little stuck. Ultimately, a lot of the pearls are the same. A lot of them are still the same transcripts and the same conversations. It's more about what Five is able to add on at the end. I also feel like it's pretty interesting to see another aspect of Five, who up until this point has been rather serious with us. Well, not serious, but I guess, yeah, serious. Very focused on his job, on his task, not really interested in being anyone's friend, not in the same way that Moon has or was. It seems like specifically Five has a thing for the creative arts. When I'm looking at I think that's the pearl from Drainage, where he talks about the paradigms, the fondness of the creator's history. The first iterators during the golden age of the Void Flu Revolution lived through the metamorphosis of scripture and verse into the first age of understanding. It seems like he really is interested in the arts, and I don't know why, but that's such a strange trait that I find really endearing. The fact that super, I can never not think about it, but supercomputer, basically godlike being, just really likes the arts, really likes drawings, really likes music, really likes scriptures. Rip to 5 Pebbles, you would have loved AO3 so Okay, no, not really. I think he's more of a historian fan if I had to read more into it, but still, historical paintings, historical writings, it definitely seems like there's a trend in things that Five likes, and it adds so much personality. And in general, it's something that interests me so much about Rain World in general, is that even though characters and stories are not the core focus of the game, the fact that what little bit we get is so dang good really stands out to me. And I really like it, and I really appreciate it. Now, gosh, I'm not sure off the top of my head if there's anything else that I want to talk on, specifically in relation to Artificer, that I can think of off the top of my head. So I'm a little torn. I don't want to say that this is the end. Like I said, at some point in the future, I do want to come back. But I think, specifically for Artificer, I'd like to take a step away. I like to take some time away, at least away from Artificer specifically. As of uploading this video, I don't know if I'm going to be getting straight into Rivulet or not. I still have full intention of going left to right. As of uploading this video, Watcher has been out for a couple of weeks and even got an update to fix some bugs and performance issues and some other things that I don't really know about yet because I have not checked the patch notes. I didn't want to get spoiled. But rest assured, I will be addressing that eventually. But I figured I might as well just stay on course, going from left to right, finishing what I can, wrapping things up, and then later on in the future I'll do some streams to do the things that I have not done. I remember some people were saying in the comment section that there were some things that I missed. There was something that I missed in Gourmand that I don't think I can easily do. From what I was told, they didn't give me the full rundown of what I missed, how to do it. They just said that, hey, you might want to play Gorband again. Maybe on the same save slot, maybe on a separate save slot. So who knows? Who knows? But at some point, I definitely would like to come back to the respective Slug Cats and do their campaigns again and see what changed and what's different and what I can do exactly. I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be really fun. I can't stress this enough, and I'd want to make this very clear. I really do love Rain World, and I really am having a lot of fun playing this game. But I also feel like I need a break. Unironically, I feel like I just need a break. This isn't the end. We'll be playing it again, maybe sooner than you think. Like I said, not really sure yet. Nothing's really written in stone. But for me personally, speaking on behalf of like the YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff, I want to be able to do other things. I want to be able to play other games. I know that a lot of you guys are here because of Rain World, and you guys really enjoy watching me play Rain World. And I'm very appreciative of that. But this channel was never meant to become the Rain World channel. It was just sort of a channel where I did things I liked, no matter what they are. And Rain World just happens to be one of those things. But I do look forward to playing other games. So if I do end up taking a step away from Rain World for some time, I hope that you guys will come back when I do start picking it up again. Like I mentioned before, I know that there are a couple of other creators that are recently playing Rain World, especially in the more recent days now that Watcher has come out. So a lot of eyes are on Rain World right now. So I know that like the competition's really dense, quote unquote. I don't really see it like that. I try not to see it like that. I mentioned it before, but I try not to make YouTube in general a numbers game for me, because I know that the moment I start thinking about the numbers, the moment I start to think about numbers, the more I start to obsess about numbers. And I start to get myself upset because, well, number not going up. Why is number not going up? Clearly I'm doing something wrong. So, gosh, I don't know. I wish I had an easy answer for you guys. I wish I had an easy way to explain my thought process and how I'm feeling, but I guess to keep things short and sweet, thank you guys so much. To all of you guys who have been watching Rain World, who are catching up, who are binging it. I know there are a couple people who are busy catching up and binging all the videos and all the things that come with it. I know that there are some new people, some people who are here since day one on the ground floor. Thank you to all of you who were here. I definitely feel like, despite everything, knowing that I had some people cheering me on, it really kept me in high spirits. It gave me that feeling of like, I don't want to give up. I gotta keep going, but like in a good way, This isn't the end of Rain World, and this isn't the end of my time here as Artificer either. We will come back. We will go back to Metropolis, and we will go back to that big place, the something beads place. I forgot. But if you guys don't mind, I think I'd like a bit of a break. So thank you again to everybody who watched, and I guess for now, that's probably where we'll leave it. So on that note, we have you, we have you, we have you, and we have you. Surprisingly, significantly shorter cycles than I thought. The next time we do come back to Rain World, things are going to get a little wet, from what I can tell. Oh, but I look forward to it. I really do. I really, really do. But I definitely do think now is a better time than any to say goodbye. So again, thank you guys so much. Thank you to everybody who decided to stick around and watch my videos. To everybody who's been trying to play catch up or just watching in general. People who have been here from the beginning. All of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I will continue to try and do my best. I'm still going to get the pearls, so don't worry. But I think I'm going to start approaching them a little differently. I guess this is where we say goodbye, huh? This isn't the last you guys see of me. If you guys want to watch something other than Rain World, then I got a couple of videos on this channel that you can watch. I'm hoping to do even bigger and better projects moving forward. So hopefully this comment doesn't age well, but I'd really appreciate it to see you guys on those as well. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone.